I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Legal and Finance Committee on this 29th day of September at 12:30 p.m. First of all is roll call and determination of quorum.
Drew?
Here.
Solomon? Here. Lehman?
Here.
Nordstrom?
Here.
Weifenbach?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Next up is the adoption of the agenda. Moved by Nordstrom, second by Lehman. All in favor? We've adopted the agenda. Next up is general public comment, a time for members of the public to discuss or express concerns to the council on any issue not on the agenda. Action will not be taken at the meeting on any issue not on the agenda except by placement on the agenda by unanimous vote of the council members present. And I do have one general comment slip. This is from Bill Casper. Bill, if you'd approach. And he also has a member of his board here, so he'd like to take advantage if he goes over 3 minutes. So thank you.
Thank you, Darla. Afternoon, council members. Bill Casper, chairman of the Veterans Honor Banner Project, here this afternoon to discuss a couple issues. And I'd like to have Don Stover, one of my board members, pass out some statistics to you. They're quite lengthy, and by the time I got done reading them, you probably forgot what I started with. But just a short history of the project. Again, we started out with 18 banners 5 years ago. This year we honored 224 veterans on banners, and I've already got 42 applications for next year that are already in, and 21 applications that are out at the present time. So our reasons for being here: we need more light poles, as usual. It seems like every year I'm asking for more light poles, and again, we need more to get all these people up. We would like to add, and this is on your paper there, the rest of the light poles on Canyon Lake Drive from Jackson Boulevard to Fremont Street. Presently we have them from Fremont Street over to Mountain View, and we'd like to add those so we cover the entire Canyon Lake area. And also we'd like Sheridan Lake Drive from Canyon Lake Drive out to Catron Boulevard. Presently we have Sheridan Lake Road from Canyon Lake Drive to Jackson Boulevard, so we'd like to add those onto what we already have. And the second item, we'd like some kind of a written agreement, if we could, from the city, allowing us to use the light poles we have and will be using in the future. And I've listed all the ones that we have right now, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. Seems like we've got everyone in town, but we really don't. And we always need more. And so if we could have some kind of a written agreement from the city saying that we have the right to use these light poles every year for the time we want, it would sure relieve a lot of stress on our part every year, wondering whether we're going to have these light poles or not, especially in light of the fact that we're going to probably approach 300 banners up next year if we keep on getting the requests in that we're getting. Right now, number 3, the dates of use, we have from August 1st to November 12th, and we'd like to have one more month if we could. We've had several requests. Is it possible to have them up for the 4th of July? And we think that would be a good idea. It also gives more tourists a chance to see them, and we have had comments from tourists that have seen the ones that are up this year. So we're asking that. Those are the 3 requests that we're making at this time. Nobody has ever asked to use these light poles before. In fact, in the 4 years we've used them, nobody has asked to use them. And so we find these light poles, they don't have any apparatus on them. So we have purchased apparatus on our own. I think we spent over $2,100 to buy brackets and apparatus, and of course they become the property of the city then. And we've also spent over $1,200 with Parks and Rec to have them put that apparatus up for us. We do feel that passionate about the project. We do have the capacity to honor these heroes, and we feel we have a responsibility to honor them, men and women, some who made the ultimate sacrifice. Some, if you've ever seen the banners, as teenagers. We are supposed to be a military city. We're an official Purple Heart city. I think 2 years ago we were voted the most patriotic city in South Dakota. I think we have good reasons for honoring these service people. Other cities have reached out to us and asked for information on how to start projects. I have 3 examples. Custer has a project going, and we got that started for them. Upton, Wyoming has their project going, and they asked us to help them get started. And the latest request we've had is from Sioux Falls, asking if we can give them a hand on getting their project started. And we've had families whose veterans are honored in this manner constantly express their gratitude to us for the project. Many people come downtown with their families and have their pictures taken. We've had people come from out of state to have their pictures taken under their banners. In fact, this year we've got a woman coming in from California to get her picture taken with her dad. And I just guess I would ask you in closing if you've taken time to walk downtown and see some of these and read what's underneath them. Some of these veterans have quite a story to tell, living or dead. So that's it. Any questions that I can help you with?
Chair recognizes Richie Nordstrom.
Thank you, Madam President. A couple of questions. First of all, thank you, Mr. Casper, for putting this program together, and I want to also acknowledge the board that you have that's participating with you on this. I presume you've gone through Public Works and Steve Froman about the light poles? Yes,
we every year we ask that permission from them.
Okay. And then I can follow up on see if there's anything we can do for further assistance, if we can. And I know our city attorney's office is currently short-staffed, so as far as coming up with an agreement, I'm just going to say give us a little more time and be patient. And I don't see anybody right now clamoring to use the light poles, but I understand the need for the agreement.
Yeah, so like I said, it would relieve a lot of stress on our part to know that we had these every year. And one of the comments that came at a previous meeting about this was, well, what if somebody else wants to use them? And I said, that's fine. Let us have them for the 4.5 months that we would like, and that gives anybody else the rest of the year. But so far, in the 4 years we've been using the big ones, no one has come forward and asked to use them.
Understand. And then if I recall, you were working through the Parks Department as well on this project.
Yes, Scott Anderson has been tremendously helpful for us in finding some apparatus that he didn't know existed, and they've always been great about putting them up for us, and the charge has been what we feel is minimal, something we can accept as far as having them put them up. They've even been great. For instance, we had one that apparently didn't get zip tied to the poles and started to blow off, and sure. I called Scott, and he had a guy over there that afternoon to put it back on. So they've been very, very helpful for us.
Very good. And we'll see what we can do for the follow-up on this, and I appreciate you bringing this to our attention.
Thank you.
There's a couple more committee members in the queue. Ron Weifenbach.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Casper. I was driving down Canyon Lake Drive. It's really neat to see here today, and I just noticed them the other day, and they're gorgeous. It was a beautiful day outside, and they were.
Thank you. We're going to put flags up next year. There's flag brackets in the back of the pole, and we're going to put a flag up with each one.
These things are absolutely gorgeous. And I guess, Madam Chair, my question would be for our city attorney to maybe give us a direction and give Mr. Casper a direction. So when he leaves here today, he has some sort of direction on how to get this on the agenda for us and let us put something together or whatever happens. So.
I'll allow it. I wonder if Joel would need some time on this, though, to respond to us.
Well, I think if you want to see an agreement, you could direct us to explore an agreement to bring back to you for consideration.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Jason Solomon. Are you done, Ron?
No, I'm done. This one.
Madam Chair, I actually had a similar question around for the city attorney, so I'll yield. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Casper, for always your work on this, and it's so wonderful to see it every
It's
year.
a fun project. It really is a fun project.
I could easily support it being expanded in time, so let's see what we can do.
Good. Remember, I told the mayor when I got started I wanted to see a banner on every light pole in town, so I'm hoping we can get there.
Thank you. That brings us to consent items 1 through 9. Public comment is now open. Seeing no comments, public comment is now closed. And now going to the committee, they may remove items, and then we'll vote on the remaining consent items. Anybody want to remove an item? I see someone in the queue. Richie Nordstrom.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I believe it's number 7 that I need a little bit of information on, and that's all the consent items that I have a question on.
Great. Can we approve the remainder of the items with the exception of number 7?
Move to approve?
Weifenbach moves, second by Lehman. All in favor? Aye. And the agendas or the public consent items are approved. So let's go to number 7, approved preliminary community development block grant, CDBG FY21 mid-year funding recommendations.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Richie.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This goes to, Michelle Schulke is at the podium already, so what I'm interested in is the group that's called Common Bond. Have we had a chance to actually formally get acquainted with those folks from the council side on this group that is coming into Rapid City?
Thank you for the question. I don't know the level of familiarity with the council members with this particular group, but as far as the community development department, there's been many conversations with this organization, not only on a planning side with Director Fisher's guidance, but also on the CDBG funding. So with that information, the committee has recommended funding, not only because it appears that it would meet the needs of the city, but they have the capacity to carry out a project like this with the funding regulations that are tied with the funding. I don't know if that answers your question entirely.
That's the start, and there's this group is, well, I'm going to say maybe a couple years in Rapid City now, but they've been organized several years from other states, and now they're just approaching the city of Rapid City. And I can't say enough of good things about them, because what I've seen and heard about them is that they do tremendous work, and I'm really looking forward to get a chance to get acquainted with them and see who the local contacts are. Because I've met the, kind of by Zoom, I've met the contact for the leader of the entire organization. So meeting the local contact would be, I think, a good thing.
Very good. They'll not only have folks coming down to Rapid City, but they do plan on using a local architect as well. So there'll be some local faces you'll see with this project, and then some new faces as well that will be in town quite a bit more, including the project manager.
Excellent. Madam Chair, I can't make the motion to approve, but I would encourage the committee to make the motion to approve the.
Moved by Weifenbach to approve, and a second by Lehman. I have more people in the queue, so let's just go ahead with that before we vote on it. Community Development Director Vicki Fisher, I guess your interim director. Chair recognizes Vicki to speak to us now.
Thank you, Madam President. Just wanted to go off of what Michelle said. So we have met Planning and Public Works with this group. They bring a lot of history and just credibility to the project. I would have to say I think we were all very impressed with their professional presentation. We have looked at some preliminary plans for this site on La Crosse Street. It will require a plan development be submitted for review and approval. Planning Commission will see that. I doubt that it'll get appealed to the council, but there is a chance that you would see it. As that is going forward, we will see local representatives in town as well, and that might be an opportunity for some of the council to get to meet them. But a highly reputable group, and their information that they've submitted, even on a very preliminary basis, is high quality.
Thank you, Vicki. Chair recognizes Jason Solomon.
Thank you, Madam Chair, excuse me. May I direct a question to Michelle, please?
Please.
Michelle. This might be easy. Were there any other entities that applied for these funds?
You know, we implemented an LOI, letter of interest process, for the first time this year, really to streamline the process, invite potential applicants to apply. In this case, Common Bond was the only one who applied for this particular pot of money.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. I have a couple questions, too. So when will the new round begin, and will you be asking for letters at that time as well for the new round?
We have decided to do that with the typical round 2022. That LOI deadline was September 22nd. The committee will be reviewing those letters of interest tomorrow at a committee meeting, and then invite potential applicants to apply for 2022 funds within the next couple weeks.
Is there any change in funding? Are you getting any more from the state or anything like that for this particular fund?
No, it is all federal money. We estimate $500,000, and that means we would allocate $400,000 to most likely nonprofits.
All right. Well, that's the end of my questions. Thank you. We have a motion on the table to approve. All in favor? All opposed? And it carries. Thank you. We'll go on now to, let's see here, non-consent items 10 through 13. I have no public comment on those items. First item up, number 10, Finance Department. First reading and recommendation of ordinance number 6508, an ordinance to update the process for video lottery machine placement by amending Chapter 5.64 of the Rapid City Municipal Code. I have two people in the queue. Jason Solomon.
Thank you, Chair. May I direct a question to our Finance Director?
Yes.
Pauline, would you mind just giving a brief summary of what these changes are?
You bet, Madam Chair. This is the culmination of the committee that was put together at John Roberts' request, comprising of staff, council, member of the public, and then also current license holders, to update the ordinance and to also incorporate the process into the ordinance instead of in the resolution that we have now. So basically what happened is we set the number of video lottery permits at 75 as of today, or when this is approved, and that will be what's actually issued, and with the additional 6 that were approved. And then from there on, every 2,000 of population, there will be another one available. That process then becomes automatic, per se. It's not that we have to open up any licenses every July, but we would look at what the population estimate is from Community Planning Department when they do that about July timeframe, and then open it up for bids at that time again. The process itself pretty much remains the same. However, the application fee would be increased to $1,000 instead of the $500 that it currently, or maybe it was $250. I can't remember right now, but it increases the application fee to $1,000. The thought behind that is that it will make sure that the people that are interested are truly interested and committed to the process, as well as still leave the door open for somebody who wants to try out the business to still be able to afford that application fee. So that's where the $1,000 landed. I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah, and the hard dates went away. So if we have an inactive license that ends up being, I don't know if the disqualified is the right term, but if there's a license that becomes available sometime throughout the year, we can open up that process at that time too. We don't have to wait till July, and we don't have to then wait and to issue that license. It also outlines the number of days they have to get operating to, I believe it was the 180 days versus by January 1 or of the following year type of thing. So it kind of gives them a little more flexibility in that regard.
Okay. And Chair, may I ask if Vicki Fisher has anything to add to this?
Please do.
Thank you. So in these instances, all of these uses will trigger an on-sale liquor license, which also requires a conditional use permit. And then that will be reviewed by the Planning Commission. Again, putting the public on notice of the use and the operation. And we've seen that being highly successful for those locations that we currently have within the community. And we anticipate that the additional licenses that were recently awarded through the lottery, we are already receiving conditional use permit applications on them, and we'll be holding public hearings in the next month to look at those locations.
Okay. And Chair, may I ask the Police Department representative?
I'm not going to say no. Go ahead.
Well, you can shut me down if you want to, but I know you wouldn't.
Go ahead.
Do you have any concerns regarding public safety with regards to these changes?
No, I think the Planning Commission and the folks that are involved in the process do a very good job of isolating and making sure that these are in the proper locations.
Okay. All right. I yield. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Richie Nordstrom.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If I may make a motion to approve this first reading and get a second and retain the floor.
Motion by Nordstrom, second by Weifenbach. And please continue, Richie.
I appreciate the work of the committee, so I don't want to debate any of the issues that they brought up, but my question has to do with the $1,000. I'm not advocating that we change it or anything like that because it's just coming online right now, but I think it's something that we need to take a look at in the future, and I'm not setting a date or a time like that, but a question for Finance Officer Assumption, if I may. Madam Chair?
Oh, excuse me, yes. Go ahead.
Thank you. Director Assumption, on the question that I have on the lottery system, is that the only time we're going to be doing that, or we got a future lottery system that we did, such as at the City Council meeting, what was it, a month ago?
It will still be a lottery system if we have more applications than we have permits available.
Still be, and then, yeah, I guess I need to get a little more comfortable with that process. And then the other question has to do with the, probably for the Director Fisher, if I may.
Go ahead.
Director Fisher, if you, on the population changes, that goes through your staff, and then we will determine the number of licenses from that taking place there. Is it 2,000 people that we go up every so often, and then you get that census data?
So this is estimated population growth, not necessarily census growth.
Okay.
So, yes, we do provide that number to finance, and based on this ordinance, for every increase in population of 2,000 or more, then an additional license could be added, one for every 2,000. That would not come back to council as a part of this. It would be automatic.
Yep. That's okay. Just wanted to be clear on that, and then that approximate or what's the term? Approximate census data comes in from your staff is done, what, once a year?
It's estimated, and I believe this is done annually, but I could get confirmation by Monday night as to what that date is annually.
Okay, and the reason I'm asking that is just the timing when the licenses go out and so on. So that's the reason for that question.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Chair recognizes Finance Director Pauline Assumption.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to clarify, I did look. It actually gives them 9 months to get up and operating under this new ordinance, and it goes from $250 to a $1,000 application fee. And so we base the 75 off of 74,000 estimated population now from the census, and then for every 2,000. The other time where there may be another license available would be like if they fail to get their business up and operating in that 9 months. We don't have to wait again until July to redraw kind of thing. We can take applications as long as I do a publication 60 days prior to that drawing.
All right, and we have the Community Development Interim Director in line, Vicki Fisher.
I just saw Kip Harrington walk into the room, so I have some an idea he's going to have some information for us on the census. Madam Chair, if you might.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Kip Harrington, Long Range Planning. So every year we do a population estimate, and it is based on a census-approved methodology by looking at our total building permits for the previous year. We stagger that a little bit because of the construction time on new houses, so we generally go like a July to June type of time frame. This year's a little weird because we just got our official 2020 census numbers in the last few weeks, so we'll reset our population to our census population as of April 1st, and then continue on with those building permit numbers from then, and then come up with a new estimate for year-end 2021, and then we'll start that process all over again in 2022. So our estimates were a little higher than our census numbers came in. We're anticipating that's because of some census undercounting, but there's really not much we can do about that. So use that as our baseline, and we'll reset our population and continue forward with the same method we've been doing for the last many number of years.
Director Fisher, is that all from you? Okay. I recognize Richie Nordstrom again.
Thank you. If I can have Kip come back up again one more time. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. The Kip, just rough estimates. We're gaining in a population. Have you got a kind of a track record of population growth for Rapid City over the, say, the last 10 years? We went from
sure.
point A to point B, and how many was that?
Yeah, in the 2010 census, we were just over 67,000, and our official 2020 census number is just under 75,000. Our estimates put us more around 78, 79,000. So again, we think that there was some undercounting, which has traditionally been a problem in Rapid City, based on some of our demographics that we have here that a lot of people don't like responding to the census. So we feel our numbers are probably pretty close, but we're pretty much obligated to go with the official census number to start, and then we'll work from there.
The reason I'm asking, Mr. Harrington, is that based on the information you're providing, maybe I'm incorrect, but please correct me if I'm incorrect, is that based on the numbers that you're giving us, that we would probably see another license issued within approximately 2 years.
Yeah, we generally grow around 1.5% to 2% a year, so 2% of 75,000 is about 1,500 people, so yeah, that's probably right. And we are anticipating to see our growth rate increase a little bit because of the new construction and development at Ellsworth, and we've also seen a lot of people just coming into this area. As you all notice, our real estate market's a little crazy and it's hard to find a house, so we are anticipating that by the time we do our next population estimate, we'll probably see a little higher than normal population growth over the past few years.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, and I have a question for our City Attorney, Joel Landine. So this is just a sticking point for me because I think it's a little misleading. When you say that the person gets their permit, they must have an alcohol permit, or even Vicki Fisher referred to this as a liquor permit. In my recollection, it's a wine and beer permit, which are very different things.
Well, yeah, I think that most video lottery establishments are based on a malt beverage license, and I understand there is some difference with a liquor. I mean, we could certainly tweak that to more accurately refer to the license, but malt beverage is a type of liquor. I mean, there's different definitions, so, I mean, if that's, I think at this point what we need to know is, do you support the committee's recommendation for the proposal of licenses, and if we need to tweak what we call the license, so you feel it's more accurate, then we can do that.
Yeah, I feel a tweak is in order there because, you know, you might think you're going to be stuck for a $100,000 alcohol license when actually you're getting wine and beer. So thank you for your answer on that. The motion on the floor is to approve. Could I have a vote, please? All in favor? All opposed? And motion carries. All right, good discussion. We're going to community development. 11, Minnesota Street, TID number 65, approval of resolution 2021-083, a request by KTM Design Solutions, Inc. for SSST LLC and Zanstra Real Estate Holdings LLC to consider an application for a relocation of project plan costs for Minnesota Street, TID number 65, for property generally described as being located south and west of Elks County Estates and east of Elkvale Road. Approval by Jason Solomon, second by Lehman, and we go to Richie Nordstrom.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was just going to make the motion, but if the committee's got any questions, Sarah Hansel is, that has to do with TIFs, is in the room, so if you've got any questions about this particular TIF, she's very knowledgeable in this area. Thank you.
We've got a motion to approve. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Number 12, Walpole Heights Subdivision Arches Addition, approval of resolution 2021-084, a request by Brian E. Bang, Skyline Pines East LLLP, for Bruce E. Schreiner, Skyline Pines East LLLP, to consider an application for reallocation of projects plan costs for Tower Road, TID number 47, for property generally described as being located Tower Road west of U.S. Highway 16. Motion by Nordstrom to approve, second by Solomon. All in favor? All opposed? And the motion carries. On to number 13, second reading and recommendation of ordinance number 6500, an ordinance to adopt comprehensive zoning regulations for medical cannabis establishments by amending Title 17 of the Rapid City Municipal Code. Motion to approve by Lehman, second by Nordstrom. No one is in the queue. All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I ask for a point of privilege from the committee for just a moment. Thank you. No? I have a question for our IT, Jim. I've noticed that the online comments have been removed from the meetings, and so you'd have to be here in person to actually make a comment. Why was that removed?
That was under the direction of council leadership.
You want to answer that?
Yes, if constituents want to reach out to us, our emails are always publicly available. Mr. Gilbert, if I'm not mistaken, we only had one in the last 3 months.
The 3 months prior to when they were removed in July, we had one per month legitimate comment. The rest were spam that got past our CAPTCHA.
I've had comments from constituents wondering why this is gone and why they don't have that option anymore. So I might be pursuing this in some kind of a reversal of that option that we used to have. So
yeah, just so you know, the system is still there. We just no longer publish it. So that system kind of belongs to you guys. So
I'm always in favor of constituents having the easiest way of reaching us, whether it's online comments, whether it's letters to us, whether it's a phone call, whatever they feel most comfortable with. And so I just hate to see them lose any type of way to reach their representative. So I might be pursuing that. Just thank you for the point of privilege, everyone. Motion to adjourn. Moved by Nordstrom. Second by Weifenbach. All in favor? We're adjourned.